Second New England Patriots player is facing allegations of assault. Defense tackle Christian Barmore is facing a domestic assault charge in Massachusetts. According to court documents, the alleged incident involved a woman he had been dating. This comes just one day after we learned wide receiver Stephon Diggs is facing felony assault and strangulation charges for allegedly attacking his former private chef. Diggs' attorney denies those allegations, calling them, quote, unsubstantiated. NBC News correspondent Morgan Chesky is tracking this one. Morgan, first, what more do we know about this incident involving Christian Barmore, and what have we heard from both him and the team?
Yeah, Sinclair, this incident involving the defensive tackle Christian Barmore stems from an encounter going back to August of 2024, in which, according to these newly released documents, Barmore was inside his residence with the victim, who was the mother of his child. And the documents state that there was some sort of altercation involving the temperature of the room, at which point he laid hands in a confrontational, aggressive manner on this woman. And that is what this misdemeanor assault charge is tied to. Now, important to note here, Sinclair, that while this took place back in August of 2024, the criminal complaint is dated December 16th of this year. We heard earlier from Patriots head coach Mike Vrabel on what he had to say following this news. Take a listen.
Before we get to what Mike Vrabel has to say, welcome to the video. This is Justin Paul. So the Patriots defensive tackle Christian Barmore is being accused of assaulting a woman who they're saying is the mother of his child. And according to the documents, it's saying that this started over the temperature within a certain room or within the home, which led to things getting pretty physical from what they're accusing. Same as with Diggs. Of course, man, we have to go through the whole process before we, just go ahead and, make a person guilty in the court of public opinion. But if this is true, definitely very horrible, man. Not a good look for, the Patriots locker room at all. Of course, they just mentioned, Stephon Diggs. Just recently, was charged with strangulation, and now, this story comes out just like a day or so later. And, my whole thing is, of course, not to give any excuses, but just want to go into a different type of talk here as far as this whole situation is concerned. Now, people are taking CTE serious, and the whole stress and mental aspect of playing football, American football, into consideration. But I do feel like a lot more talk and a lot more awareness needs to be placed onto the CTE. I feel like a lot more players possibly need to look into those cushioned helmets that we're starting to see more and more players wear. And it may be an adjustment, but I think it will help as far as because football players, especially D tackles, man, they're constantly clashing with offensive linemen, and making tackles. Just again, they're in the trenches, as they say in football terms. They're clashing every play, and it's helmet to helmets, helmet to shoulder pads, and these guys are some big guys. These guys, well over 250 pounds in a lot of like majority of the cases, and they're clashing up against 300 pounders, and every play for the full length of a game. They're clashing up against each other, and you've been playing football since you was little. For a majority of these players have been playing since pee-wee all the way up through high school, middle school, high school, college, then now pros. So that's a lot of clashing. That's a lot of your brain hitting up against your skull. Probably has so many concussions. Most people have concussions and sometimes don't even know they're concussed, or just just the fact of your brain just being rocked around, constantly. Not making excuses again for any of this behavior. I just feel like a lot of like anger and a lot of just acting out physically against those who are definitely not going to be, physically superior than you, can be a result of having some type of mental issue. And I really do think a lot of these athletes need to really get the proper examination of themselves in order to see if they're suffering from anything, as a cause of so much classing of your body up against another body at a high force, high velocity. Um, and again, just the mental aspect of trying to win, trying to meet bonuses, trying to keep yourself in shape, because certain teams have certain criteria that they want their players to have as far as body fat, weight, things like that. So it's a lot. You never know what they're going on, what they're dealing with personally, what type of stress they're under and stuff like that. Again, no excuses, man. You can't make no excuses for assaulting someone. I just feel like we do need to take a lot deeper look into like the mentality and the mental capacity and also the physical of these players.
We've made a statement. We've taken the allegations very seriously, and what comes of that, I think then we'll have another discussion. But I don't think we have to, jump to any sort of conclusions right now, and let the process take its toll.
Of course, the big question right now with the Patriots entering a playoff run, what happens with both Stephon Diggs and Christian Barmore? We know that the arraignments for both of these players are coming up in the next several weeks. That could be happening right in the midst of a playoff run.
Yeah, again, I'm not sure if my mic was muted right there, but like I was saying, if it was recording, I'm not really sure. Didn't keep my eyes on the meter, but coach seems stressed. Again, they're right in the midst of a playoff run, and he's having to answer questions that are not football related. And you could tell, it's taking a toll on him. He's trying to get his guys ready, and all this stuff again is happening at really one of the worst times. As I was saying, the Patriots have a long history of winning championships, and with Tom Brady and Belichick, and they have a new quarterback with May, and Vrabel is there as coach, and they want to bring that winning back to the Patriots. So again, all this is coming at one of the worst times as far as like for professional sports team when they're gearing up for the playoffs. Just trying to keep everybody's mind focused on the field.
Clay, the one person who has the unilateral authority to take both of these players off the field is NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell. He could choose to place them on the commissioner's exempt list.
Yeah.
However, at this time, they remain on the active roster, but we'll be keeping a close eye.
We thank you for watching. And
So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and close out this video. You know, of course, again, we don't want to find anyone guilty in the court of public opinion. I'm just gonna stand by that, even though you know the charges and stuff like that, man, egregious, and we definitely take these type of things serious. We have to just wait until you know the judicial system, that whole process plays out, and then you know we can go from there. If you like my content, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. This is Justin Paul. Peace.